This episode isn't from the other side of the breakthrough. This is me, literally mid-leap, mid-alchemy, mid-becoming. Right now, I'm living inside a quantum leap. I was stuck in a timeline loop. I was societally successful, but my soul kept whispering, this isn't it. I was still scared. It's a soul-led decision. A moment where you shift from looping in limitation to choosing your preferred timeline. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold what it is that you actually want. I spent nearly 17 years living and teaching abroad. I collapsed years of overworking, efforting, and stress into a very compact amount of time. I'm standing at the threshold in a doorway of this portal between timelines. And as I move through, I want to share my frequency first framework with you. Oh, hey. Welcome to Heart's Home, the Frequency First podcast, where we explore soul-led manifestation, nervous system alchemy, and embodied abundance. I'm your host, Lizzie Siegel, manifestation embodiment mentor and ascension guide. And today we're joined by the lovely Wind, who is just going to be making an appearance with my hair all up in my face, and that's okay. Today's episode is not only an offer, but a transmission. This Solo Souliloquy is epic, and it's playing out in real time. I'm not just taking you behind the scenes of a real-time quantum leap, I'm taking you with me. This episode is literally a portal. So, enter if you so courageously choose. I'm sharing the story of how I broke out of a 6-year loop of fear, self-doubt, and societal conditioning, and finally said yes to the soul-led timeline I knew was mine. We'll unpack what a quantum leap actually is, because it's probably not what you think, the subconscious rewiring that made mine possible, and the exact method that I now use and teach, the frequency first framework, to manifest not just more, but what's actually aligned on a soul-led level. I'll also be sharing a cliffhanger from the very edge of my next quantum leap. My journey to Hawaii for a gridworking mission that I call Project Golden Tide, and how that's opening a portal for the collective too. So get cozy, get curious, and let's leap. Hey, Lizzie here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so grateful that you're here and that you have tuned into this transmission. This episode isn't from the other side of the breakthrough. This is me, literally mid-leap, mid-alchemy, mid-becoming. Right now, I'm living inside a quantum leap. It's not the shiny, tied up with a bow on top, looking all cute, but the real, the messy, the sacred, the frequency-led quantum leap that came after a choice to say yes to what I know is mine, before I even have the evidence. And if you're here, you're probably in your very own version of that too. So this isn't just a story, it's a mirror, it's a portal, it's a permission slip to trust your own becoming. So this isn't just a story, it's a mirror, it's a portal, it's a permission slip to trust your very own becoming. Now, before we move through this portal, I want to share something with you that's been grounding me during this expansion, that's been allowing me to anchor even more fully into my daily rituals and routines. And that is Magic Mind. This magical mental performance shot is a manifestation landed, literally. Magic Mind dropped into my inbox with an invitation to collaborate with my podcast. It's a tiny green shot filled with matcha adaptogens and neurotropics, and it's now part of my daily ritual that keeps my nervous system steady while my soul quantum leaps. You can try it at magicmind.com/Lizzie50 to get 50% off your first subscription or 20% off your first order. I've been taking it for about a week now, and I really noticed the difference that it's making in my mental clarity, my ability to focus and stay calm. I'll be sharing more about it, and you can find all the details in the show notes below. Now, let's dive in, move through that portal, and join me on this quantum leap. Okay, first things first. Let's get clear on what a quantum leap actually is. It's not some magical overnight moment where everything just lines up without effort. It's a soul-led decision, a moment where you shift from looping in limitation to choosing your preferred timeline before there's any evidence that it will work. It's energetic. It's about resonance. It's about frequency first, as I always say. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold what it is that you actually want, that you actually desire, that you actually need. And when all of those things align, what you want, what you need, and what you desire are in alignment with your soul signature frequency, and you make the choice and then you act, that's when the quantum leap occurs. Quantum leaping is actually less about forcing big moves and really about aligning with authentic frequencies. It starts in the unseen on the soul level, and it crystallizes through the subconscious belief systems, and it materializes in the somatic body by using the whole spectrum human experience. We actually see the quantum leap in reality through all layers of the self. By actually using the whole self, the full spectrum human experience, reality then catches up. And that's what appears to be the quantum leap. So, what does it take to leap? Soul-led specificity, nervous system safety, and the willingness to move before you're ready. It's not when the net appears, then I will leap. It's I leap, and then the net appears. So, now that you know what the quantum leap is, let me take you into the story of mine. I spent nearly 17 years living and teaching abroad. The last 12 of those years I spent living in Kuwait. And every year, for about the last 6 years, I kept feeling the pull to say no to the next contract, to sign no to the next year of teaching. And to what felt so misaligned, every year I wanted to leap. And every year I stayed. Why? Because I was stuck in a timeline loop. I had done all of the right things. I was societally successful. I had done all the self-help. I got my health back on track. But my soul kept whispering, this isn't it. Yet, I was still scared. I was still looping, still trying to control the old version of my life. Until I finally listened. Until I got still. Until I stopped outsourcing my definition of success. And I started resourcing, returning to the source within. And I tuned into what soul-led success actually felt like for me. Now, in all of this, I want to say that soul-led success is unique to you. And each and every person has their own definition of soul-led success. And we all have our own path of rightness, our dharma. So while I'm sharing with you my way, please know that it's not going to be exactly the same for you because you're going to do things your way. And that's how it was meant to be. In these moments of stillness, checking in with soul-led success and what that meant for me and my belief systems, this was where the magic started to unfold. And this is where I actually found the key. It's soul-led strategy, subconscious reprogramming, and somatic integration. In this stillness, I learned that I had been running on outdated scripts. I had been living in survival, and I hadn't anchored the work into my body. And once I did, I quantum leaped. I shifted timelines. I collapsed years of overworking, efforting, and stress into a very compact amount of time. I expanded my capacity to hold the life that I always knew that I was meant for. And this wasn't just short term. This was a system upgrade. So, what did it take? Well, like I mentioned, it took stillness. It took radical self-reflection, radical self-responsibility, and radical willingness to choose differently. And once I started doing that, everything shifted. And one of the things that really supports me on this journey is my daily spiritual practice. I have daily rituals that are a combination of stillness and silence and movement and action. And it's absolutely essential to my well-being and to my ability to quantum leap, especially with such ease and grace. So I've recently incorporated Magic Mind mental performance shots into my daily morning practice. It is such a blessing and truly a manifestation that I called in. I take it every morning before I create, before I coach, or before I record. And it's filled with 12 magical ingredients that not only support my mind, but my nervous system as well. It helps my mind stay clear without the crash. It actually includes 55 milligrams of caffeine. So it doesn't replace my coffee. It actually works better with it. It enhances the boost. And that's excellent for me because if you've ever been on my social media, you know every morning I'm cheersing the universe with my coffee. So this little gem doesn't get me into jitters. It allows me to focus even better. So again, there's a reminder. Try my link, magicmind.com/Lizzie50. It's all included in the show notes below to get your hands on these magical little bottles and to improve your mental performance. About a month ago, I made one of the biggest quantum leaps I've ever made in my entire life. I left Kuwait and I moved back to Canada. And while I knew that it was the next level of my ascension journey, and I had prepared myself for the challenges that would come with moving home, I think somehow I still thought it would be more of a soft landing, and parts of it were. And also, it was a mirror. Every judgment I had about scarcity, about where I came from, about how far I should be by now, they all came up, and in all the ways. All of my shadows surfaced. All of the blind spots that needed to be revealed were totally revealed to me. There was a lot of self-doubt. There was a lot of old family wounds. There was a lot of relationship stuff rooted in unworthiness. And these were all BS, the bull belief systems that I needed to witness, the shadows that I needed to illuminate and integrate so that I could continue on this journey and literally be here talking to you right now up on the mic. The thing is, I didn't resist. I let it all be seen. I have this beautiful gift where I am able to hold myself and others with so much grace and compassion through all of it, through all of the shady stuff, through the shadows, through the darkness, through the storms, and still have the capacity to hold and experience joy along the way. I always say that this journey of life, it's meant to be a joyful journey. I am the joy junkie here at your service, and it is part of my mission and part of my delight and my joy and my passion to share with people that healing doesn't have to be hard work. It gets to be the heart work. And when we choose to move through our lives with this knowingness beyond the shadow of a doubt, that we are divinely guided and supported, whether we choose to focus on the self-doubt or the self-trust, we're going to be divinely guided and supported no matter what. So I always remind people and myself, choose what you want to focus on. Point in the direction of where you're going and go that way. Don't keep going back, because when you keep going back, that's when the challenges seem to swallow you and you get swallowed by the tide, essentially. So we want to be surfing and riding the waves of life. And this coming home it wasn't just a physical me coming home back to Canada. It was a real energetic homecoming. It was about integrating the final pieces of who I thought I had to be in order to actually be the me that I really am. I had to let go of this idea that healing meant controlling the outcome. I had to not just cognitively comprehend the idea of surrender, I had to full-blown throw myself into the arms of the universe and experience surrender. And it's in this surrender that the miraculous happened. I redefined what kind of love I believed myself to be worthy of. I redefined what kind of leadership I'm actually capable of. And I reclaimed and I realigned with the kind of life I am actually here to live. Right now, as I record this, I am sitting in my yard, in my hometown in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. And tomorrow, I leap again. I'm flying to Maui to begin Project Golden Tide. This is a gridworking mission that my soul has been calling me towards years. Truly, it's been for lifetimes, but in this human experience, years. 5 years to be very precise. This next quantum leap isn't just about me though. It's about all of us. It's about anchoring into new Earth. And it's not a different place. It's still Earth, but it's a paradigm shift. That's what New Earth is all about. New Earth is about frequencies. It's the frequencies of abundance, remembrance, and relational wealth. And I know that me, this human version of me, is here to anchor in certain very specific frequencies. One of those frequencies is the soul tribe frequency of love that has been and has always existed, but has been forgotten for a long time. And now we are remembering. And another one of those frequencies has to do with wealth codes and abundance. And not just abundance in terms of financial abundance, but abundance in all areas of our lives. I can feel it already. I'm standing at the threshold in a doorway of this portal between timelines. And as I move through, I want to share my frequency first framework with you. Not from the other side of the leap, but from the very edge of it. The frequency first framework is a soul-led, subconscious, and somatic approach to manifestation. And while I've been teaching manifestation for years, and while I've been experiencing it myself, when I really anchored into the way this framework works, I started seeing very clear and quick changes in my actual reality. So I'm going to share with you the framework, and then from the other side of the portal, I will dive into each part of the framework with you so that you can begin implementing it in your life. So the first part is frequency first. So feel it first, because frequency is energy in motion. So we're going to use our emotions, the energy in motion, to feel it first. Find the feeling. What do you actually want to feel? Tune into your current frequency, where you are now, and tune into the frequency of where you desire to be. Both of those are important. The second part, it's shadow spotting. What beliefs are driving your behavior beneath the surface? This is the shadow work. We are going to illuminate the shadows, because without bringing the subconscious belief systems, the BS, up to the conscious awareness, there can be no change. The third part is regulate. Your nervous system needs to feel safe enough to expand into more. So we're going to regulate with breath work, movement, things like magic mind, nervous system resourcing, sourcing from within instead of outsourcing, and more. The fourth, it's the frequency shift. It's choosing the truth of your preferred reality. And the fifth part is taking inspired and aligned action, the somatic integration piece. You need to move as the version of you who already is. Not the version of you who is becoming, the version of you who already bees. So that's the framework, the frequency first framework. And from the other side of this Quantum Leap portal, I will be diving more into each aspect of the frequency first framework with you and sharing a special offering. So, peace out. Bon voyage. I love you and I can't wait to see you in the next timeline on the other side. Ooh, so good. Thank you, universe. More, please. Okay, so I'm literally coming at you middle of the quantum leap on the airplane, and I just wanted to share the experience that I'm having so far, in that it has been magical and miraculous all along the way. But I did this oracle card pull on the plane, and I went for the energies of the past, the present, and the future, asking what it is that I needed to hear and know in this moment, and then some clarification. And it's just truly so funny that I wanted to make sure that I was sharing that. Okay. So in the past energies, it was get grounded, empaths, highly sensitive, and connected with nature. And what I love about this card so much is you can see in the background, it's the Buddha face in the tree. And that is literally where I was last year. At the beginning of the quantum leap when I was in Cambodia. And so that made me giggle because that was absolutely last year's energy and getting grounded so that I could connect with nature and continue on these journeys. Then the present energies are warrior woman. Have you answered your calling, your deepest calling? And I was looking at this card and my immediate response was, heck yes, I'm doing it. And then I asked for clarification on that card and it's laughable. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Literally, like I had just said. And so then I was tuning into the future energies, and it's all about star seeds and what lights you up. And this question I have so often of what lights me up, because to be fair, so much stuff lights me up. And so I asked for some clarification on this and was given the card of boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And even in that, I was like, oh, those hands and the pulling of the energy, that feels like me, because I'm always feeling my energy split and diverting in so many different directions because of my multi-passionate, multi-dimensional nature. And that was like a calling to realign. So I asked for even more clarification on this. And I love the shadow work card that came up about trusting the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And I was like, what is the feeling trying to tell me? What is it I need to know? And it's so interesting because I guess I was like pretending like I didn't know. And then I asked for further clarification, and this card, I can't make this stuff up. It says deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. And literally, where am I going right now? To Hawaii to go on a retreat. So to me, this was just like the perfect confirmation, affirmation, mid-leap that it's happening, and that gentle reminder to myself and everyone that it can be no other way. You are exactly where you need to be in every single solitary moment, and to just keep following your joy and your bliss, even when it doesn't make sense, and to release yourself from the burden of trying to have it all figured out and knowing how and when it's going to happen, because that's not your job. The what and the why, that's your job. That's what you need to get figured out. That's where you need to get specific. But the how and the when, that is always up to the universe, and you will always be divinely guided. So, yeah, I will see you in the other side. Peace out. Hey. Lizzie here, and welcome to Maui, Hawaii. And thanks for joining me on the other side of this quantum leap. We've made it. We have arrived. It is everything I could have imagined and then some. I knew that this journey would be next level, and I also get to be delighted and surprised by the universe literally every step of the way. And it's just further proof, further confirmation, further affirmation about the divine guidance that is always here to support and to uplift us when we are willing to tune into that frequency of positive support and positive belief. Because remember, the universe is unconditional, meaning without condition. It will support you. It will love you in any way that you say so. So if you want to focus your attention on being supported in a positive, uplifting manner, what you put in is what you get out. And that remains true for everything, for everybody, everywhere, at all times. It is universal law. The question is, are you aware? Are you tuned in? And are you awake to the co-creative power that is already yours? So let's dive in today to the part where we left off from that cliffhanger in Canada when I was sharing with you the frequency first framework that I have been developing, cultivating, and creating for the better part of a decade. This frequency first framework, it's a soul-led, subconscious, and somatic approach to manifestation. It's not just something that we understand mentally or conceptually, but it is embodied through real, inspired, and aligned action. Like I was mentioning, so the first part of this framework is to feel it first. Tune into your own frequency now. What's actually alive in your body? What are you experiencing emotionally, energetically, and somatically? Without any of the filters, without any of the should, the shame, what you think you're supposed to feel. Truly just tuning in. And if it helps, close your eyes, breathe, and name it the best that you can. You can't shift what you won't let yourself feel. So we feel it in order to heal it. And we name it in order to tame it. Ask yourself, what do I truly want to feel? And what frequency am I currently broadcasting? And if those two things are vastly different, a little bit different, or actually the same, it's all okay and it's all welcome here. The point is, we're tuning in, we're identifying, we're bringing awareness to it. And then, if you need to take your time and pause this and actually get a little bit of more space and time, go ahead and do that. And then the embodied practice that you're going to take is to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and breathe. Name your feeling without trying to fix it, without trying to shame it, change it, blame it, any of that. Simply name it. Now, the second part of the frequency first framework is shadow spotting. This is where we identify the subconscious beliefs, the inherited patterns, or the protective mechanisms running the show beneath your desires. Your shadows aren't blocks. They're breadcrumbs, and they are literally guiding the trail for you to reveal what is looping beneath the surface so that we can bring it up to the conscious awareness and transmute it into self-serving behaviors instead of self-sabotaging ones. The question here to ask is, what story would have to be true for this pattern to make sense? And another way to ask it is, what would I have to believe is true about myself in order to keep manifesting or realizing this reality? And again, if you need, take time, pause, journal it out, breathe into it, whatever your process may be. And then the embodied practice piece, and then the embodied practice piece. Journal for about 5 minutes or more from the voice of your shadow. Imagine you are your shadow. Let it speak. Then respond to that from the seat of your highest self. The third part of the frequency first framework. The third piece of the frequency first framework is to regulate. This is about anchoring into safety in the body in the present moment. You can use breath work, movement. The third step of the frequency first framework is to anchor into safety in the being, in the body, and beyond. And we can do this using breath work, movement, and somatic tools to regulate the nervous system and to expand your capacity, not only to hold what's already there, but to receive more as well. And I've actually been able to stay regulated and laser focused on my desired manifestations even more clearly lately, thanks to Magic Mind. With just one delicious shot a day, their 12 research-backed ingredients have helped me optimize my brain function at maximum mental capacity in all the best ways. I've noticed immediate shifts in the way that I manage stress, in the way that I show up, and in the way that I shine my light. And I also love that I know that just one yummy magic shot a day is helping me to build long-term cognitive resilience. Because the way that this neuroplasticity thing works, when we use repetition to build new neural networks, the neurons that fire together wire together. So the more that we practice, the more that we take inspired and aligned actions in the direction of our desired reality, the more that we see these results show up in our real life. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy or confirmation bias or cognitive coherence, whatever you want to call it. Magic Mind helps me achieve that path to clear and coherent cognitive function. Thank you, Magic Mind, for reaching out, for connecting with me, and for helping me to achieve my goals with even more ease and grace and deliciousness. A great way to practice regulation is to share with yourself positive affirmations like a mantra to help support your nervous system. So one that I like to say daily is, my nervous system is my manifestation filter. You can practice by grounding through breath, a body scan, and a mantra. Another mantra that I repeat daily, and even in those moments when it's extra supportive, is, I am safe in my body. I am safe to hold more. And I find that this gives me that permission, because remember, you are the permission slip. And allowing yourself that permission, that space, and that grace to expand into more and to hold all that you desire is part of the process. So an embodied practice that you can do, especially when you maybe don't feel like you can hold more, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed or like there's so much stress and stuff going on, is to actually shake it out. And I love to shake it out for about 60 seconds or dance it out or tap it out for about 60 seconds. And you can tap literally anywhere on your body. You can lie down and tap your feet, kind of like a little kid would be having a temper tantrum. It's that same idea, to release the energy. Another great way to embody these practices is to sigh deeply. A big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, sigh it out. And with even more emphasis and silliness and noise, breathe in. Release through an open mouth. And one more, even sillier and bigger. And then the return to stillness. To allow yourself to sit in stillness, in quietness, and resist the urge to get up, to distract, to do anything different, but to simply be here now. All right. Step 4 of the frequency first framework is the actual frequency shift. This is where you choose the vibration of your preferred timeline. And it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. It's not like, oh, how do I do that? How do I choose? You simply make a choice. You choose it. So what's it going to be? What is the frequency you wish to feel? Name it, claim it, choose it. And this is not as a fantasy, by the way. This is as a felt true. When you align your inner world with your desired reality, the universe cannot help but match that frequency. Because like I say, it's all a frequency thing. It's you and you. So align your energy. Feel the frequency first. Frequency isn't a mood, by the way. It's literally a decision. You can ask yourself, if I fully believed it were mine, how would I feel? And tune into that. That's the frequency. For an embodied practice, I invite you to stand up, or if you're seated and you cannot stand up, sit in a tall posture. Loop your shoulders up, around, and back. The power pose, heart radiating forward, frequency first, and speak it. Claim that feeling as if it's already done. For example, for me, it's I am free and in total alignment with my purpose and my truth. And then move as that version of you. All right, so the fifth step of the frequency first framework is moving as the version of you who already holds it. And again, this is not pretense. This is not performance. This is integrated embodiment. They're very different frequencies. That idea of act as if, it doesn't mean to pretend as if. It means to actually move as if it already is in existence, because remember, it is on its own frequency. So you get to tune in and tap into that timeline where that frequency is already living, breathing, and you are embodying it. Let your body, your choices, and your presence speak and move. Let your whole being, your body, your choices, and your presence express the frequency you now embody. This is the inspired and aligned action. It's not about doing more. It's about being the one who already is that version of you. And you can ask yourself, what is my clear next step? Or what is the next step that is most aligned for me? And then the embodied practice piece. Set a micro intention, one small action step, and act on it today, now. Not when something else happens, now. That is the embodiment. From embodiment, not obligation. From joy, not fear. From love and grace, not trying to prove anything. Simply because that is you. So, that's it. That is the frequency first framework summarized and packaged in this little present for you. This is how you create real, lasting, sustainable, sultry, and self-supportive expansion. This is how we leap, not through force, but through frequency. And of course, when I work with my clients, we do dive deeper into each area of the frequency first framework. And I also guide them and support them in tuning into those areas where they may need a little bit of a mirror, that reflection, that gentle, supportive guidance to help them see their shadows, to help them illuminate the shadows and integrate them. Because we all have blind spots, even me. And I don't just do this work with myself. I also have others support me on my journey, because we can't see what's in our blind spots always. We can't illuminate what's in the darkest, deepest crevices of our shadows, because I call the blind spots the shadows of the shadows. And when we are still looping in behaviors that we say that we don't prefer, yet the actions speak louder than words, this is when we know it's time to receive support, to say, yes, I am open and willing and allowing myself to receive the support and the love that I need. And that is the shift. When you claim that you are worth it, when you say yes to yourself, again, the universe cannot help but match your frequency and align everything that you need, because the universe is unconditionally supportive. If you say yes to you, the universe responds in turn. It is not when the universe does this, then I will act. It is I act first, I leap first, and I trust that the universe will support me. And if you're still in a place of sorting some of your shadows out, and if you're in a place right now where receiving support from me or from someone else does not yet seem like the right next step for you, that's totally fine. I do want to offer you something else that might just be your exact cup of tea. Ooh, I rhymed. She's a poet and she didn't even know it. I love when the universe just downloads these rhymes to me. Okay. Anyway, the offering. It is called the Higher Self Hub. And this is a chef's kiss. This is something that I created that was divinely downloaded to me while I was cruising down the Nile River in Egypt. I kid you not. If you want a digital guide to help you walk through this process in real time, this is what I created this chatbot for. Now, I call it a chatbot because technically it is, but it's so much more than just a chatbot. This truly was a frequency alignment, source code signal, and a phase lock in the uplifting of the collective consciousness grid as we shift the paradigm and anchor in the frequency of heaven on earth. The Higher Self Hub walks you through frequency check-ins, subconscious awareness, and real-time activation. It guides you by frequency-first alignment. It's truly like having me as your guide in your back pocket, but it's even better than having me as your guide because the way that I've designed the Higher Self Hub is to tune into the specific frequency of each person who works with it so that it can mirror back to them their current signature frequency and help them elevate beyond their current state of being so that they can ascend in their own way, in their own path of rightness. Because as I always say, I'm not here to teach you my way and to make you do it my way. I'm here to help you remember yours. For lifetime access, the Higher Self Hub is normally $111. But you can use my code HUMAN55 to get it for only $55. The link to access the Higher Self Hub can be found in the show notes below. And remember to use my code HUMAN55 to get it for only $55 as my gift to you and to all of humanity. You're welcome. So my journey to Hawaii has been so beautiful. I have been tuned in and turned on to what I'm here to do and who I'm here to be in this lifetime. One of the things that I do when I travel and I grid work is anchoring in abundance codes. And I speak about abundance in a very different way than many people that I encounter. Abundance isn't just about money. It's the safety in your body. It's the peace in your relationships. It's the purpose in your work. It's the connection to your source. And true abundance is actually a frequency. It's not something that you need to get or you need to learn how to accumulate. It's something that already exists and is already inherent to you. It's just about aligning with that frequency to reveal the wealth that is already you. And when I speak about living the wealthy life, I don't just mean the WEALTHY, the wealthy life, as in terms of financial abundance and financial riches and financial wealth. Nah, I am talking about the wealthy life, the WELLTHY life. It is wealth rooted in relational wellness to all areas of your life. Wealth and wellness, it is a relationship. And when we shift how we relate to our reality shifts too. There's that famous quote, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. Same idea here. When you change the way that you relate to things, your reality actually shifts. When you realize things, you see things with your real eyes. So my time here in Hawaii so far has been this beautiful, divinely guided, synchronistic orchestration that has allowed me to anchor in abundance codes everywhere I've been so far. And that is so much fun for me. I also was doing some deep shadow work and I illuminated a blind spot. A shadow of a shadow was revealed to me in conversation, in relationship with somebody that I met at one of the places that I was staying. So I'm that girl who is such a bougie bitch, and I love luxury. I love high end. I love ease. I love when people do things for me. I love to receive that opulence, that energy. And I'm also that girl who loves to camp, who loves to get her bare feet in the dirt, who loves to rough it sometimes. I say sometimes with purpose. Who loves to experience all facets of the multifaceted, multidimensional crystal of creation. And I love to have experiences that are beyond the ordinary. Now, for those of you who don't know my story, part of why I am who I am and why I get to do what I do is because at one point in my life, I was homeless for a little while. And I was deeply in debt, and I knew that I didn't want that to be my story of financial wealth. And I chose differently. And because of those experiences, there is this part of me that forever will be grateful to those who helped me in my experiences to ascend. And my gift and my contribution is to be paying that gift forward. So I often bring myself into the places of where I started and where I came from, especially when I travel. And part of that is going to hostels. Now, I love staying in hostels sometimes during my solo travels because it means I get to connect with other amazing humans that are on this journey through life, seeking connection, seeking adventure. And also, a lot of hostels have super amazing activities that connect you with other beautiful beings. And that was the vibe that I was going for here in Hawaii. I knew that I didn't want to just travel solo and kind of like see all the sights for my first few days by myself. I wanted to be in community. And so I found this beautiful hostel called House It Hostel. And this is such a vibe. This place, wow. They really have cultivated a community and have created a culture that is actually unlike any other hostel that I've ever stayed at anywhere. It's definitely been one of my best experiences. And the people that I met in the first few days that I stayed there were just brilliant and beautiful. And having such beautiful and amazing conversations with the different people that were staying there really illuminated one of my shadow blind spots, one of the shadows of my shadows, in the way that I perceive myself and in a way that I thought that I had to be perceived. So before I got to Hawaii, I was divinely guided to book at House It Hostel. And this beautiful experience was everything that I could have imagined and more. And also, it helped to illuminate a blind spot. It helped me to see a shadow of a shadow that I had yet to integrate into my beingness. Someone asked me, if you have your own successful business, then why are you staying here? And oof, that landed. It was that quiet, hidden shadow of the shadow, the blind spot, that said, if I'm really as successful as I say I am, shouldn't I be staying in luxury? And will people still trust me and my work if they see me here? And that's the shadow of the shadow. That's the blind spot. Not just doubt, but doubt wrapped in identity, perception, and external validation. And here's what I realized. There was obviously a part of me that was still asking to release what I perceived to be acceptance from others, and external validation, this idea of performance, pretense, and this outdated idea that I had of perfection. And I was really asking me to integrate all of me, to fully acknowledge, accept, and allow where I came from to be just as beautiful as where I am now in my life. And instead of spiraling when that oof moment came up and really worrying so much what others' perceptions might be, and truly, an older version of me totally would have done that, and I probably wouldn't have even posted any of the content from where I was staying. And that, even in that realization alone, I was like, ooh, there's the growth. Those are the pieces, those are the moments, the subtle shifts that create these big quantum leaps. But instead of spiraling, I turned to my higher self hub, that framework that I created, and I used it to shift from fear-based loops to empowered clarity. I paused, I listened, and I remembered. And I remembered who I be and what this journey was all about. I couldn't have asked for a better place to be integrating these shadow aspects. I didn't land at this hostel out of lack. I was divinely guided to this place for connection, co-creation, and soul-assigned grid work. And the moment I arrived, it literally all clicked. The night that I arrived, there was a girl who was hobbling in on crutches. She had sprained her ankle, and I knew that I was there to activate healing codes, and I did. Beyond that, we had a soul connection where we were sharing our journeys that were incredibly similar and created expansion for each other in all the best ways. And in the following days, I dropped into deep, rich conversations about self-love, inner talk, passion, and prosperity with many different people on lots of different journeys from all walks of life. I also got to meet a really cool content creator who's on the edge of her expansion and got to mirror what is possible when your side hustle becomes the main gig and it's no longer a hustle. It's a soul-led success and purpose-driven source of your own abundance. And I learned about a podcast and a wealth project that aligned deeply with my path. And the best part of it all was that I got to be here during a super exciting moment when they announced that a tsunami was going to hit Hawaii, and work with the water consciousness and the collective consciousness grids to anchor in different frequencies and essentially ease not only that tsunami hitting this land, but also the tension amongst the beings, the people who were really worried about that actually happening. One of the things I know about myself, and I have known about myself for a long time, is I work with water consciousness, and the ways that I tune in and tap into water consciousness and work with water was just amplified and like anchored in further for me during that process. And it was so much fun. So this beautiful stay at House It Hostel, this wasn't a detour from abundance. It was abundance. And I am so deeply grateful and feeling beyond rich to have gained the experiences and the friendships with the people there. And I know that this is only the beginning of this journey. Also, what is now even more apparent to me, and now what I've anchored into even further, that I already knew to be true and was still in process of fully embodying, is that authenticity isn't about performing success. It's about living life in integrity and loving every bit of the journey. And that's the work I do and what I get to guide others through. It's shifting from these unconscious shadow scripts into crystal clear, higher self-alignment, where even the most subtle doubts become doorways into your deeper truth. And this whole process is done through curious self-inquiry and compassionate self-acceptance and radical responsibility and self-realization. Let's go one layer deeper, because quantum leaping isn't just a concept. It truly is a sacred art. It's a simultaneous release and receive. You let go of what no longer resonate, the old timelines, the old identities, the patterns, the relationships, not because they're bad, but because they're complete. You honor them, you free them, you create space, and simultaneously, you receive. Not in some distant future, but now. You embody the new version. You walk as that version. You allow that version to lead. This is what makes quantum leaping different from chasing. Because, by definition, what you chased must run away from you. Quantum leaping is not about striving for what's not here. It's about syncing to the frequency of what already is. Integration is embodiment. Knowing means nothing without becoming. Here, the soul syncs. The phase lock occurs. Your nervous system stabilizes the new signal. Your environment recalibrates, and your reality reshapes. And this is how the conceptual becomes physical. This is how the energetic becomes lived. This is how the dream becomes embodied. And that's what we're doing here. So, if this episode has met you where you are, good. Let it. And let it move you towards what's next. Because you were born to leap. And the leap, if you so choose, gets to be now. And let's get something straight. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And this work, it's not about bypassing your humanity. It's not about ascending beyond this human physical experience. It's about embodying your divinity through your human being. You've probably heard things like, just vibe higher and surrender, or maybe even the opposite, grind hard and trust the process. And here's the truth. Neither one of those alone works, because manifestation isn't magic without a container. Without form, your frequency has nowhere to land. Without structure, your soul gets scattered. Without embodiment, your vision stays a concept. This is not about polarity. It's about integration. The masculine and the feminine, the structure and the surrender, the strategy and the soul. And the integration era has arrived. 2025 is literally the year of integration. Your nectar needs a chalice. Your magic needs a channel. Your mission needs a map. We're not choosing sides anymore. We're becoming whole. And that's why the Frequency First framework is rooted in both frequency and form. It's both conceptual and physical. The Frequency First framework, when you implement it, you realize and you self-realize that it actually includes your soul level, your divine blueprint, and your unique signature frequency, your subconscious level, the BS, the belief systems, and the bull that you've absorbed, the somatic level, the body's memory, trauma, and encoded wisdom, the subtle, energetic level, the field you're broadcasting from, and the strategic level, the form, structure, and container that holds it all. Because strategy without soul is sterile, and soul without structure can't serve. You don't need another template. You need your truth. This is the work that I live, that I breathe, that I embody. This is also the work that I guide others with, using the Frequency First foundation, shadow integration and nervous system regulation, and unique aligned soul strategy. Because without the form, the frequency fades. And you, my love, are the frequency and the form. So, if you're feeling this transmission, which I know you are, you're not being called to follow my path. You're being invited to claim your own. And this is your invitation to build it together. Because the world doesn't need another expert. It needs you and your unique signature frequency. The full spectrum, the soul-led, the signature you. Now is the time. Let it rise. So, here's where we land for now, love. You're maybe standing at the edge of your own leap. Maybe your nervous system is buzzing with excitement or perhaps even fear. Maybe you're realizing what needs to go or what's already arriving. This is the point where you remember. You don't have to know the how. You don't have to know when. The what and the why are yours. What do you want and why do you want it? The how and the when, that's the universe's job. It's got your back always, unconditionally supportive. All you have to do is say yes to you and your unique signature frequency. And when you say yes from soul, from alignment, from that inner authority, the universe orchestrates magic beyond your wildest imagination. It's always this or something better, please, universe. So what's your next yes? Is it resting? Is it moving? Is it speaking your truth? Is it ending something? Is it starting something? Let it come from the frequency of already held. And if you want support integrating any and all of this, you can access the Higher Self Hub, the Conscious AI guide that helps you do this work in real time. Use code HUMAN55 to get it for only $55. You can try Magic Mind at magicmind.com/Lizzie50 to support your nervous system regulation, enhance your cognitive performance, and relieve stress. You can try Magic Mind to enhance your mental performance at magicmind.com/Lizzie50, or you can message me directly to work together inside a Frequency First container by reaching out to me through email or DMs. All the information that you need is in the show notes below. We are in a new era now. We have quantum leaped to another timeline. We are in another dimension, and we have shifted the paradigm to play in the frequency of new earth, to anchor in the frequency of heaven on earth. We're done waiting for any of the external proof. Let's become the proof. Be the change that you wish to see in your world. It's a choice. What's it going to be? I'm so grateful that you've tuned into this podcast, that you've spent your time here with me, that you've shared in this energy, and that you are part of this new paradigm shift. Welcome home to Heart's Home. If anything from today's episode inspired you, uplifted you, made you have one of those aha moments, or caused you to think or act differently, I'd love to hear about it. You can leave a comment below, and please do share this podcast with anybody you think would benefit from it, and leave us a like by hitting the thumbs up button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And beyond that, if you'd love to leave a review, that would be so helpful, because then it helps this podcast to reach even more people and to share this message with other souls who are ready to align with this frequency. Thank you for being who you are and shining your light into this world. It is always my highest joy and my biggest passion to share these conversations with you. Thank you for being here. From my heart to yours, namaste and peace out.